Hello, my darlings. Please forgive the state of my hair. It's wet. The reason being, I have these absolutely massive white painted stones outside of my house because I live on a steep hill. And somehow one of them got moved. And my OCD, well, I couldn't cope with that. So I zoomed outside and I put all my might into moving this massive stone. I honestly felt like my brain was going to burst out of my head. And just as I managed to get the stone to shift, I did this weird kind of flip and landed on my head in mud. So I left it on there for a bit because I thought, I've saved a fortune here. There are loads of women who pay a fortune to go to spas and get covered in mud. It might do my hair some good. But it looked a little bit unsightly for the video, so I've washed my hair. But I'm busy and I couldn't wait to dry it. And also I was excited to talk to you because this week, what I want to share with you is how to use touch on a friends and family basis, to do it for somebody else, to do it for yourself. If you're a therapist, to use it as part of your practice, part of your sessions, but using safe touch to calm and relieve anxiety. And because it's on the face, you're actually working on the gut, which, as you know, because I've said it 20 million times, and you probably want to get that big white rock from outside my house and throw it at me, it houses the second brain, and tons of scientific research has been proven with this, particularly by Professor Michael Gershon, who wrote a book called The Second Brain. Also, Professor Rick Hanson does an awful lot on this and the neuroscience, and it's absolutely fascinating. I'm sounding like a total nerd here. Makes a nice change. Anyway, darlings, so the face, when you're working on the face, because some people might have cerebral palsy, they might be in wheelchairs, it might be difficult to get to their backs. And if you're self-isolating or you're in hospital, there are parts of your back it's really difficult to get to. So this solves everything, and it empowers you, because even if you're doing a Zoom session with somebody, you can get them to mirror you, or even if you're doing a face-to-face session, get them to mirror you. And what I'm going to show you works directly on the gut. So, and the other thing is as well, when you do any work on the face, apparently it's like a natural facelift. It makes you look younger. So I'm going to go off later and do it about 20 million times. And the next time you see me, I'll look about 18 months old, and you'll know why. And it will all be natural. Anyway, darlings, so I'm going to start with the forehead. So if you just get the pads of your 3 middle fingers, and it doesn't matter whether you go left to right or right to left, both, you could do it as many times as you wish, but you just start on your temple, go from temple to temple. And this is really important because the temples, as you know, because I've also said it 20 billion times, the temples are the capital city of all our happy hormones and coping chemicals. Those 4 main neurotransmitters. 3 of them are made and stored in the pituitary, which we access in massage through the temples. And one of them, dopamine, is made deep in the hypothalamus and travels up the sides of the head and is stored there. So when you do this, you're not only easing those wrinkles and worries and anxiety, because it's pure bliss to do this, and really go all over your head, up and down, up and down. You don't just march like a load of worker ants straight across the middle of your forehead. Take your time, darlings, take your time. So you just gently do this. And it's so easy. And if you're working with anybody, say you're working with somebody autistic who's really touch averse, the way I get around this is to really put them in control of the touch, because then they know the pressure. It's not going to feel like tickling or burning. If you put somebody in charge of something, it's immediately empowering and immediately boosts that serotonin in their bodies, the hormone of happiness, confidence and self-esteem. And oxytocin, it's now proven, they used to say 40 seconds after you put your hands on, oxytocin would be released, the hormone of love and nurture. That also stimulates emotional intelligence, by the way. I have said this before, but I don't need you to watch 155 videos because you really will want to kill me. So every now and again I have a little recap. But yes, oxytocin is now released, they've proven this, after just 20 seconds. That's your immediate first benefit. So it's really effective. And when you work across the forehead, the frontal lobe houses all those higher brain functions. So things like attention, focus, seeing consequences, good judgment, mental flexibility, being able to cope with sudden changes, motivation, drive, you know, and when you're in the middle of your forehead here, you're accessing melatonin, which is the neurotransmitter of sleep, mood and aggression. Sleeping tablets, some sleeping tablets are actually called melatonin because it simulates that. So if your body isn't making enough, this will naturally stimulate it. And if you're feeling in a bit of a misog mood, if you massage there, it's going to help you feel calm, you know. And I'm not saying these things are going to be immediate, like a magic wand, but if you just get into the practice of doing them, they really, really help. And I do this every day, before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning. So it just, you know, it puts that memory in my cells. It helps me sleep well. It helps me be productive and focused in the day. The other thing you could do, and I've shown you in previous videos about massaging along your brow line, but a really delicious one, and I actually prefer this. You might not, try it out, see what you think. We're all different. But is to squeeze between the pads of your first fingers and your thumb. Squeeze right by that concentration point. Imagine you had a massive unibrow that started there, okay? Like a Thunderbird's puppet. You start there, and then you just gently squeeze and go up to the temples and off. And you, on the face, you're always working from the inside out. You're drawing that tension away and off. And any work you do around the eyes relates directly to the stomach. And the stomach is the seat of meltdown, anger, fear, anxiety, dread, but also excitement. So it's not all bad. So it's really, really, really good if you've got somebody who's nonverbal, somebody who's autistic, somebody who has ADHD or pathological demand avoidance, you know, and sometimes they can get right on the ceiling. I actually love that gorgeous energy. But if it's not coming out in a positive way, this is a really good one once they've settled down to really get them into the practice of doing so. Just that gentle squeezing and drawing out to the temples, and you can even massage the temples afterwards. So, and that again boosts all that daily dose, those 4 main neurotransmitters. You can then also work under the eyes. And again, in previous videos, I've shown you how to do it just with the pads of your middle fingers. Sorry if it looks like I'm swearing at you. I promise I'm not. I'm very polite. And again, you go up to your temples. Keep on boosting those happy hormones and coping chemicals for your day. Oh my God, I love it. I love what we can do with our bodies. It's so amazing, isn't it? Yes, so I showed you that. But again, you might also want to just pull and drag up to the temples. And it's so incredibly soothing and really, really good, because the first place stress shows is on your face. And that's the beginning of all those little wrinkles and nasty things that can start if we're under long-term stress. So hopefully it'll have the added benefit of making you, you know, really look good too. Oh, on that note, the best oils, if you love oils, not everybody does. Sometimes it's what's called a dry massage, or you just want a bit of cream. You can use rosewood, which is a cuddle in a bottle. It's absolutely fabulous for trauma, really fantastic for people who have trauma. I take that regularly into intensive care units. Well, I mean, I did before COVID, into intensive care units, hospitals, hospices, you know, even down to people's pets, you know, put rosewood in their little beds because it really, really helps. And the other one that's absolutely fabulous for calm and bringing that inner nurturing, reducing that anxiety, feeling like you're having this great big delicious long cuddle, you know, those ones that last for ages and you think, oh, don't let go because it's so nice. That rose is that. And it's also fantastic for your skin. So not that I'm doing a beauty blooming video, but you know, it's just interesting, isn't it, really? I just love it all. I love it all. The touch, the smell, all of it. 5D, five senses. That's what I'm all about. So explore, explore, and you'll smell divine. You'll have people charging up the road after you and saying, tell me what perfume you're wearing. I need to buy it for my wife. This has happened to me on several occasions, by the way. And it's just rose oil and rosewood and, you know, lovely things like that. Depends what mood I'm in. So where was I? Yes, if you, round the eyes, anger. The eyes are all about anger. So if you've got proper, you know, shoved down anger, you suffer from meltdowns. Your anxiety is so crippling, it can build into panic attacks, blackouts. If you've got PTSD, anything like that is absolutely wonderful to calm those nerves right down and soothe that second brain. Many eye migraines are caused through anger. It's rage. It's what you've kept in your stomach. So very often if people come to me for really bad continual migraines or headaches, I will very often work on their tummies, behind the gut, on their lower back or around their eyes. So it's just a little tip there. I like to freely share these things. The other thing you can do, and I've shown you this before, it's again between the pads of your first finger and your thumb, and you just gently pinch and squeeze, and you always go up. With the face, you don't want to crush all the stress in and then shove it all up. You want to draw it off and, you know, just relax, just go up. It's beautiful, this. It's really, do you know, it looks so simple and you've no idea how utterly delicious it is. The only contraindication to doing any work on the jaw is if you have or have recently had cancer, purely because you don't want those nasty cells travelling through the lymph, because that really wouldn't be funny. So please, please, please don't do it on anybody or yourself if you have or have recently had cancer. But I wanted to add to what I've shared with you before, because you can also sweep up the jaw. And again, this is absolutely beautiful. And I'm just using my finger there, the side of my first finger and the inside of my thumb. And you go from the chin up. And it's immensely releasing and soothing and calming. So if you're starting off your week with an awful lot on your mind, and I am, my youngest son has just been diagnosed with COVID. I've got to do my tax return. You know, God, I love it. In between all my mad. Oh, I've got a radio interview on Thursday, darlings. Gateway 97.8 FM. If you're interested, tune in it's from 11:30 to 12:30, but I'm not sure exactly when I'm on in that time. But I've got a whole half an hour. Get the paracetamol ready, because I love talking. It's for Gateway FM with the fabulous Aston Avery, who is the most incredible autistic young man who has busted so many myths, and it's a joy to be interviewed by him. And also Anna Kennedy, OBE, you know, who has her charity Anna Kennedy Online, and I'm her charity wellbeing ambassador, as I've said before. And she's a mother to 2 autistic sons. So for me, this is a really special thing. So I'm going to end on that note. Busy week. So I'm going to keep smoothing out my face. Hopefully no more headstands in the mud. But I do hope it's made my hair nice and glossy for when it dries. Anyway, darlings, have a wonderful week. And, oh, that's another thing. Did you know that headstands are a yoga position? In fact, I've demonstrated it on 2 occasions. Helps all the blood and oxygen go to the brain. So there we go. I got that as well as a free spa treatment. And all my stones are immaculately in place. So I can now get on with my day. Take care, my darlings. I shall see you next week. Bye-bye. Loads of love.